morning. Hey guys, what's up? How is everybody today? Hi, we are back. My name is Debbie. Welcome to my channel. We are back with the Betty Broderick trial. She unalived her husband or ex-husband and his new wife in what year was it? I forgot what year it was. Long time ago. Long time ago. 80s? Late 80s? I don't even remember. I'm supposed to know this stuff, right? Long time ago. Long time ago. Let's see what Judy has for us this morning. Oh, and by the way, Judy, it is 66 degrees this morning in Florida. So, yeah, fall. Fall is early this year. Medical evidence indicated that Dan had not died right away, and Betty claimed that she had spoken to him after she had shot him. Betty turned herself into police, never denying that she shot them. She claimed that Linda's screaming startled her and the gun went off. She denies premeditation. Hey, Judy. Hey, Jill. Yeah, she said she took the gun over there because she was going to unalive herself in front of Dan and Linda. Linda was shot in the chest and then in the back of the head. Front and then back. I can't figure that out. I don't know how that happened. If the first one unalived her, did Betty turn her over and then in the back of the head? I'm confused. I'm confused. I don't know. And then Dan, he got off the bed, like onto the floor, and then reached for the phone. And then Betty pulled the phone out of the wall and was like, I don't know what she used. I don't know if she used the gun or what, but was like smashing his hand as he grabbed for the phone. So, premeditation does not have to be, I've planned this out. Premeditation is you're mad at somebody and you pick something up. Like, I made the decision to pick this cup up and hit somebody with it. That's premeditation. Just, I picked this up and I hit somebody with it. That split second. That's all it takes. Now, if you come home and find your husband in bed with another woman and then you like go into a blind rage, that's extreme emotional disturbance. That premeditation is it's a little different. Like your lawyer could argue that that's a different situation. But in her situation, completely different. She could have chosen at any time to stop. She had to make the decision to get the gun, take it with her in the car. She chose to drive all the way over there. Like, there's lots. That's premeditation. All those steps that she took to get to his house. That's premeditation. So, she can't say it was not. She told Oprah that she took the phone to make them listen. She didn't know she'd shot them and she ran because she was scared he was after her. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. Yeah, I think I don't, this woman was nuts. I'm not sure the things she said in interviews. I'm not sure how much was her crazy head and how much was lies. You know what I mean? Like, how much was her delusions and how much was just a flat out lie? Because I think she was a little delusional. I'm not saying he drove her crazy. I mean he did, but not intentionally. I don't think he was like gaslighting her. I think she just, her identity was so wrapped up in the prestige of being married to a successful lawyer and the money and the balls and the, you know, that I think that not having that anymore is what drove her crazy. I don't think he drove her crazy. I think it was losing all that that drove her crazy. But she wasn't right though to begin with, because the things that she did when she didn't get her way, like locking him out of the bedroom and locking him out of the house and burning his clothes, and she was like she was like a spoiled princess. And if she didn't get her way, she retaliated in bizarre ways. So I don't know. She wasn't right. She just wasn't right. And she was not mentally ill, according to the doctor. She had a couple of personality disorders. I don't understand how personality disorders are not considered a mental illness. Because look at her. Now look at Amber Heard. They both have personality disorders, but they're not mentally ill. That's not considered a mental illness. Those two women are more mental than people I know that have a mental illness. I have a mental illness. They're way crazier than I am. I have major depressive. Wait, am I saying that right? Major depressive disorder. Yeah, which is considered a mental illness, but personalities are not. They're way crazier than I am. He already peed in the floor. Yeah, right there. I called you to take him out because I was busy. So he didn't wait. He just peed in the floor right there.
Do you recognize, and for the record, Your Honor, labeled J is a pair of blue, appears to be boys' shorts with a pull string. Do you recognize these shorts?
Yes.
And you know whose those were?
Rats or Danny.
And do you remember that your mother being upset about the boy?
I saw. What did I watch? I watched something about her. It might. Judy, remember that link that you gave us? It was like a 6-hour long thing. It might have been that. Basically, it was clips from the trial. And it was a psychiatrist that examined her and said she did not have a mental illness. She had personality disorders. That's why I said it wasn't considered a mental illness, but it is considered a mental disorder. Okay, good. Good. I'm glad, Jill, that you told me that, because I would have been gone the whole rest of my life thinking that personality disorders were not a mental illness. Apparently, I have a personality disorder because my cousin's husband is a counselor, whatever they're called. Like, he has a master's degree in social work. So he's not a psychiatrist. He's like a mental health counselor, whatever their official title is. I don't know. But he won't tell me what it is. He just told me I had one. I don't know what it is. So they prescribe mood stabilizers for borderline personality disorder. But Betty Broderick had histrionic. I don't think, did she have borderline? I know she had histrionic. Oh, a cluster of them can be a form of bipolar. Huh. Okay, good to know.
Was going out in clothes like that. I'm taking them off of them, buying
Yes,
clothes.
yeah, I do. Yes, she did do that.
And there were times that your mother was spending a lot of money on you for clothes, wasn't she?
Yes.
And there was times that you were complaining that your father didn't understand how much clothes cost for girls.
Right, he didn't.
Okay. And you were also complaining that you were having a hard time because when you would try to explain to him, Linda would interfere and tell him that you weren't being truthful. Isn't that right?
About borderline personality disorder in therapy, and I learned this because my one of my best friend's daughter has borderline personality disorder. They know how to mask it. So if you get them into therapy and they don't want to be in therapy, they can mask it, and the therapist will think, therapist, that's the word I was thinking of, counselor, therapist. My cousin's husband is a therapist. Why couldn't I think of that word? Anyway, they can mask it to the point that the therapist can't tell. So unless they want therapy and want to get help, it doesn't work. So it took my friend's daughter had to actually grow up, and like she was on drugs and all kinds of stuff. Like she had to grow up and be like at the end of her rope. You know, like she grew up and had like failed relationships and kids from different dads, and like she had to go through all of that, get like to the end of her rope and go to rehab and everything before she got help and got her life straightened out, which is really sad. But borderline personality disorder, they can mask it really well. They know how to act like they don't have anything wrong. It's a scary personality disorder.
Or that you didn't need to spend that kind of money.
She never interfered in front of me. Maybe she did that behind my back. I don't.
You complained to your mother that there was fights with your father where your father would tell you that Linda would say you don't need to spend money on the kids. Your clothes cost too much.
No. Not that he didn't need to spend money on this, that he'd say, okay, how much do you need to go shopping? And we'd tell him, and he'd, I guess, discuss with Linda and come back and tell us how much we get.
Upset about the fact that something was going on and your father wasn't helping you with clothes, wasn't there?
Dances? Is that what you mean?
Dances for
For
one.
proms, yeah, that was a problem at prom and homecoming and things.
Okay. In fact, one prom night you came over to your mother's house when she was having dinner with friends, and you were very upset, weren't you? Or at least you were crying.
I don't remember that she was having dinner with friends. I don't know exactly what you're speaking of. There was one year that Mom took me out to get a dress late at night.
Okay. In fact, she had to go bang on the doors at a store to get them to reopen it so that you could get a dress.
Right.
And you were complaining about your father at that time, were you not?
Well, he gave me not enough money, I thought, to get a dress, so I was mad about that.
You also would come over and ask your mother for money because you weren't able to have shoes that were decent, isn't that correct?
No.
Okay, nice people's identification?
Yes.
And it appears to be a medium heel. Okay. You recognize that shoe?
Yes.
Okay. And whose shoe is that?
Mine.
And do you know how your mother got possession of that?
She's different from me.
Well, when you were complaining about being able to have enough money to go out and shop,
No.
that was how your shoes normally looked?
Yes.
Dress here, do you normally dress the way you are here? You like to dress well, don't you?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
In fact, there'd be a lot of battles because your mother, in fact, you said your mother was a free spender. She'd love to take you out and buy you tons of clothes and then make you feel bad about all the clothes she bought. Is that right?
When did I say that?
Is it true that your mother used to take you out shopping and then make you feel bad about it because she complained that she was spending all her money on you?
She would take me shopping, and later she would tell me that she was broke.
She would make
And
you...
then because I had just went shopping with her and got all these new clothes, and now she said that she had to borrow money from people because she's broke.
Is it your testimony that's the way you like to wear your shoes?
No, I like from she that I walk, but my shoes get ruined.
That's the way your shoes look fairly quickly.
Yeah, all my shoes at home look like this.
Okay. And I take it that your shoes have always looked like that, even when you lived with your
Your
mother.
Honor, I'm going to have to object at this point as to the relevance of the condition of her shoes.
Sustain.
Well, can I just say something about the shoes?
No, what was the question?
The time that your mother came over and rammed her car into your father's front door, you remember that day, is that correct?
Yes.
Was Linda over there that day?
Earlier, Linda wasn't there with the car. I think she was there earlier in the day when Mom was there. I think Linda was in my room.
So Linda this is in 1985.
No. Home. There was some time when Mom and Linda met each other in my room. I think that was this day. They were both in my room, and Mom said they talked for a minute. I think that was this day, but Linda wasn't there without Dad. Linda was only there when Dad was there.
Your mother came over.
And I think Dad and Linda came home after that.
So after you called up your mother, you called up...
So I said, Mom is here. What do you want me to do? I didn't say she's going to burn down Corey because I didn't know that yet.
When did you find that out?
Later, after Dad had already been there, and then Mom, I think she said down Corey. That's when I told him that.
Well, when did you find it out, though, from your mother?
Yes.
So as soon as your father arrived, did you tell him she's going to burn coral reef? So as soon as she left, you said, by the way, she's going to burn down coral reef.
He said, what do you think she's going to do? And I said, well, I think she might burn down coral reef.
What did she was going to burn down coral reef?
I think she told me that on the phone, actually, before she got down before. She didn't say, right now I'm going to
Sorry, guys. Hey, Nancy.
Did she call before she came over the first time?
Yes.
So she called up wanting to know where your father was.
Right.
And she said she was coming over and she was going to burn down Coral Reef.
She didn't say she was coming over. She said, I'll burn
To let him know what's happening.
I didn't talk to him before Mom came over. Wait.
Did you tell your father then, you knew that you say, Mom's here and she has threatened to burn down Coral Reef?
No, I cannot.
Mention that to him at all?
Not. Mom's here. What he wants to do.
And now after, then your father showed up and your father said, I'm not.
She couldn't burn down Coral Reef if she was there. So I didn't tell him right then.
Well, you. And so you didn't know whether she'd gone over to Coral Reef before she came over to your father's house, did you?
No.
So you didn't say to him? And then after your mother came back and banged into the door, it's your memory that, do you have a vivid memory of that? You indicated that you heard what you thought was a chainsaw and your father went out to investigate it?
Dad ran out the front. We were in the kitchen. Dad walked out towards the dining room, towards the front door. I walked out towards my room, the back door.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Talking too fast.
We were in the kitchen. Dad walked out towards the dining room, and I walked
Out towards my room and the back door.
Thank you.
Now you indicated that as you heard this noise, you thought it may have been a chainsaw and you could only hear your mother. Is that correct?
I was down in the backyard. I hadn't heard anyone's voice until then. Then I heard Mom and didn't hear Dad. I still don't know why I didn't hear Dad. Mom was calling to me.
Did you ever hear your father's voice?
Nancy, this is our new trial of the past. It is Betty Broderick. She shot her ex-husband and his new wife. I can't remember what year. Judy, what year? Late 80s? I think it was 89. Was it 89 when she did it, or was 89 when the trial was? I don't remember. Anyway, this is her oldest daughter testifying right now. She put her husband through law school. He was in medical school when they met, and then he became a doctor, and then he went to law school. She put him through law school. They had 4 kids, and then she was a biscuit their whole marriage. She said she didn't love him. She never loved him. She wanted the money. You know how yesterday you were all like, oh, she never loved him. It was all about the money. Well, that wasn't the case in that one because she had money. Her family had money. She didn't marry him for money. This time, totally different situation. This woman just wanted the money. And then when he divorced her, she went crazy. She was upset because her divorce settlement, she got like $16,000 a month, and that wasn't enough. So this woman is cray cray. She went absolutely bonkers. What Kim is talking about right now was that the trial or when she did it, Judy? And what they're talking about right now is when she drove her car into their house.
No. I heard him yell initially when I was leaving, and then no, I didn't hear him talking or anything though. I didn't know what had happened to him or what he was doing that Mom was calling to me. I didn't know where it was.
So you heard your father yelling as he was?
I think he said like Jesus, something like that when he got out there. I don't, or he said that at some time. He like yelled a word. That's all I heard.
And was your mother yelling at that time?
No.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Did you ever hear your mother?
She was yelling.
So the only time you heard your mother do anything was when she was yelling to you. Is that correct? And you indicated that you went and saw your mother at the hospital?
I went out with Brad.
StreamYard is just not behaving today. Okay, so she did it in 89, which means the trial is early 90s.
Mother being taken away by the...
Oh, and by the way, this is her second trial. First trial ended in a mistrial. Another one of those things where I have no idea why it ended in a mistrial. How do you get a hung jury in a situation like this? And she practically, I don't know if she testified in the first trial, though. She testifies in this trial and practically admits on the stand that she did it.
Please. Is that correct?
I saw her when she was already in the car. Yes, and they were driving away.
And were you there when, did your father say anything where he wanted him to take your mother?
No.
Did you ever become aware of your father asking you to take him to any hospitals? Psychiatric hospital?
Did I ask that? No, I don't know that.
Did you see her outside after she was done? In the car?
I don't even know if I really looked in the car.
Did you ever see a knife?
I don't know if I just heard about the knife or if I saw the knife. I think I just heard about the knife.
And
Or if I saw it, it wasn't in the car. It was afterward, like where Dad brought it inside or something.
did your father go anywhere then after your mother was taken away?
I don't think so.
Well, did you go anywhere?
Oh yeah, I went to my friend Heather's house. I left.
You didn't go to Coral Reef, did you?
No,
You know whether your father were Reef?
I left. It was only my sister and I at home, and we went to my friend's house.
Did you ever see a can in your mother's car?
No,
Did you ever see a gas receipt?
no,
Were you ever shown a gas can? Or a gas receipt?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
You indicated and showing you what has been marked as People's 21 in evidence. This is a family portrait with a scratch on it. If I can put it right up here for a moment. Is this the only family portrait in the home that had like a scratch in it, or were there others?
I think that's the one. I remember that.
You, in fact, were the one who discovered, is that correct?
Yeah. It was in my room. It was either me or Lisa. Somebody in my room that morning noticed it, and then I went over and saw it.
Okay. And when you indicated your mother had come over that day to retrieve some clothes that you had taken of hers,
That I had borrowed hers.
that you had borrowed of hers.
Yes.
That was-
Before she came to take, she wanted to find some clothes of hers, and I wasn't home.
And I take it that she had given those clothes to you to borrow? Or had you just gone over and borrowed them?
Probably both. She lent me a lot of clothes.
And so you indicated that she was over there that night, and then that morning you discovered this scratch, is that right?
Yes.
And had you seen that scratch before in there?
No.
And I suppose everyone in the family talked about it. I mean, I suppose that this became something that was discussed. You showed it to your father.
With
Okay.
Danny Rat.
But everyone, that was the first, when you discussed it with everyone, that was obviously the first time they had seen that scratch, too.
Right.
Okay. And if I can just for a moment go to another subject. You were going, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. In what months were you going to school? I mean, from when to when was it?
From August to May.
May what? The end of May?
Beginning of May. May like 5th, something like that.
Okay, and then you were home,
Yes.
living at your father's place?
Yes.
And is that when that happened?
I don't remember. I really don't know when that happened.
But you
Come on, Core TV.
It was basically my fault that Mom was over because I was supposed to bring the clothes. Brought the clothes over to her house and I didn't. So she came over to get them because there was something in particular that she needed. So.
and no one else, did anyone else even know your mother was over that night? Or did you just have to fess up to it? That was your fault?
No, I wasn't home. I didn't know she was over that night. Someone else had told me that she had come over that night.
To get your clothes.
Right.
And
She told me to get the clothes. They didn't tell me to get the clothes.
Had there been other times your mother had been over there, like you indicated sometimes she'd bring the boys back. Like for once she
Yeah.
brought Rhett back because he had an earache. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when that was?
That he had an earache?
Yes.
No.
Okay. But that was a big to-do when she came over and brought him back, isn't it? Were you home the night that she brought Rhett back?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it was in the middle of the night and he had an earache and woke the whole house up. Do you remember that or did you just hear about it?
I think I just heard about it.
Okay.
I
Now,
think that might have been after I went to school.
StreamYard, you're getting on my nerves. I thought he said earring. I was like, what? She went and had her little boy's ear pierced. Shadow, I did not invite you to the party. So is this a new thing? You're gonna come sit on my laptop every day now? What if I
Just out for the night. I don't know. I didn't get woken up. If he did come home that night, I wasn't woken up by it.
Okay, but the night that your mother scratched that picture, the night where we get and the night Brett had the ear, isn't that right?
I don't know.
Well, you were talking.
That she was over there that night for.
Well, you discovered the picture the next day.
Right.
Did anyone say, yes, Mom had been here? There'd been a big to-do? You don't remember anything about that?
No?
Do you remember your father writing a letter to your mother in May saying that...
Objection, Your Honor. It's hearsay and outside the witness's personal knowledge.
Well, it's about time for the afternoon recess.
If I could just ask...
What is one there? Go ahead.
Was there really an objection? I have an objection to him repeating what is in.
Well, Your Honor, I'd like to show her the letter and see if she has.
Go ahead.
Do you remember about whether she did that? Is that with your mother about whether correct?
StreamYard, I'm about fed up with you.
A letter on stationery. Broderick.
Defendant's M.
I'm sorry,
M. This is Mary.
Ever find out whether your father did anything about that portrait?
No.
So that was one of the things that you didn't have to discuss that with your father?
If he did anything about it, I don't know what you mean.
Okay, if you could just read this letter to yourself and tell me if that refreshes your recollection.
And Dad, I did talk to Dad about it.
You never told your father that it was your fault that your mother was over there? Never talked to your father about that? Or he never talked to you about this?
Objection, Your Honor.
Yes.
I object to the characterization that it was Kim's fault because.
Well, I'm sorry about the characterization. Did you, I'll with you other question. Did you talk to your father that it was because of something that you happened to do that your mother was over there?
Yes.
I have no further questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take our afternoon recess at this time tomorrow because one of the lawyers has out-of-town court appearances that are going to take the majority of the day, and it wouldn't be beneficial to have you come in just for an hour or so's worth of testimony. So we'll be in recess till Monday morning at 9 o'clock. Please remember the admonition not to discuss the case among yourselves, nor let anyone else discuss it with you nor form any opinions on it till it's finally submitted to you. And over the weekend, please be extra careful not to listen, watch, or read anything about
Shadow, what's up? What you doing? Camera on, baby. They can't see right now because I can't turn the camera on because StreamYard's being mean to mommy. You wouldn't know anything about being mean to mommy, would you? You wouldn't know anything about that, huh?
We're going to interrupt the cross-examination of Miss Kim Broderick, and the people are going to call Mr. Jaffe out of order. He has a scheduling problem.
You want to fix it? Thought you could.
All right, I understand that the people want to call a witness out of order at this time,
That's correct, Your Honor, Daniel Jaffe.
and the defense has no objection to that. At this time, we're going to interrupt the cross-examination.
Shadow.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Jaffe, how do you make your living?
I'm a lawyer.
What lawyer, what does that consist of there? Your Honor?
Pratt.
Are you local here in town?
No, I'm from Beverly Hills.
And can you tell us a little bit about your practice? how long you've been involved in that practice and what sort of work you do?
I've been a lawyer since 1962. I've practiced family law exclusively since 1967. We have a 8-lawyer firm at the present time. The whole firm handles only family law matters.
Are you fairly well known as a family law practitioner in the Los Angeles, Southern California, and indeed the whole state of California?
Yes, I believe so. I'm very active in most local, state, and national family law organizations.
Calling your attention back to October of 1985, did you undertake representation of the defendant in this matter?
There was a retainer agreement signed in October.
Had the retainer agreement with, is she present in court today?
Yes, it was Betty Broderick.
She's the lady seated at the council table to the extreme, as you sit the left-hand side
far
of the
left.
courtroom?
Yes.
May the record so reflect, Your Honor?
The record may reflect as identified the defendant, yes.
Thank you. In October of '85, after that day, did you then enter into the negotiation with Dan Broderick's attorney, Thomas Ashworth, for the sale of the family residence at Coral Reef?
Yes, that occurred in January of 1986.
And in that month, did you come down to San Diego for purposes of negotiating the sale price with Daniel Broderick and his lawyer, Thomas Ashworth, on the defendant's behalf?
Not necessarily the sales price of the residence, but how the monies from the sale of the residence would be divided between Mr. and Mrs. Broderick.
Tell us how that was accomplished, to the extent that it was.
I had written to Mr. Ashworth, I think, at the end of 1985. Ms. Broderick had some concerns in the issue of, there was a buyer for the house at that point. Ms. Broderick had some concerns that when Dan Broderick had occupied the residence, I think after she vacated it, that certain things were done to the residence by Mr. Broderick in terms of decorating and landscaping and all, which he thought depreciated the value of the residence. She wanted additional money when it sold.
Normally, when a family residence story is sold, what is the split between the husband and the wife? Who are the
Not objection.
professional witness, Your Honor?
Overruled. Answer that.
If all the assets are going to be divided equally under California community property law, if it was community property is to be divided exactly equally. But sometimes one party gets the house and the other party will get something of equal value. So there's no tried and true formula.
In terms of the money comes out of the house, is it fair to say, since it's a community property,
Yes, but we may not divide those exactly.
that would be because certain monies might be offset against other. Or offsets against other things they may owe the other spouse. Would it be an equal split from the sale price?
Yes,
of
if
the
it's community property, each party is entitled to one half of the property.
Did you meet with Mr. Ashworth at his office to negotiate this particular sale?
Yes,
Did the defendant come with you?
she did.
You flew down from Beverly Hills to accomplish this?
Yes. Betty, she picked me up.
There were people present at the negotiation. Who was going to be there?
Well, we had originally planned for a four-way meeting between Mr. Ashworth, myself, and the Brodericks
At Mr. Ashworth's office?
at Mr. Ashworth's office.
When you and the defendant arrived at Mr. Ashworth's office, what took place?
Well, she did not want to come up and attend the meeting. So she had a truck or a van or a similar job. She didn't want to be in Mr. Broderick's presence.
Did you then go up to Attorney Ashworth's office and
So childish. Oh my gosh, that is so childish. She just didn't want to be in his presence.
Division of the sale proceeds on the defendant's behalf.
Yes.
Tell us how that came about.
no objection? Hearsay.
Sustained.
Verbal lapse here, Your Honor.
Let's rephrase it.
Did you go up and enter into a negotiation for the split sale price of Coral Reef with, and did you reach an agreement?
Yes.
What was that agreement?
The agreement was that the house would be sold, the proceeds would be equally divided between Mr. and Mrs. Broderick, but from Mr. Broderick's share of the proceeds, Mrs. Broderick would get an additional $18,500. And of that $18,500, $7,500 of that was an admission by Dan Broderick, so to speak, that she was entitled to that amount of money. And the additional $11,500 was going to remain open for further determination in the court proceeding or settlement. But she was to get one half plus $18,500.
Is that a rather unusual set of circumstances in the sale of a family asset like this?
Your Honor, objection.
Sustained.
Did you take that agreement down to the defendant as she sat in her Suburban?
Yes, I had gone up and down to her, to the office a couple of times, as I recall, bringing back her desires to the negotiation table, and I thought we had an agreement. Mr. Ashworth's office, before I left, had typed up an agreement. I signed it. I don't know if Mr. Broderick had signed Mrs. Broderick for signature.
Did you tell the defendant that all the other parties were agreeing to this particular arrangement, that she would get half plus $18,500 out of Daniel's one half share?
Yes.
And was this an amount the defendant had earlier told you that she wanted?
It was close.
How close?
I think her original claim was for half of $41,000 or $42,000.
And what does that translate?
There was, as I just looked at the correspondence, there was a claim that Mr. Broderick had put $40,000 or $42,000 into the house of community funds or insurance proceeds and community funds, which Mrs. Broderick did not think benefited the property by that amount. And that was the whole purpose of the unequal division. It was due to her claim that Mr. Broderick had improperly used the community funds on the house. And if they were community funds, they were improperly used. And assuming that were the fact that they were improperly used, then he used up half of her $40,000 or $42,000 improperly, so she'd be entitled to that $20,000 or $21,000 back, and we got $18,500 of that amount.
So we're talking about $2,500 difference between what she wanted and what.
So you can just claim that your ex used your community money improperly and you can get it back? That does not sound right.
You had ultimately been able to negotiate for her.
Close.
And when you came back with this agreed upon amount from the other parties, what did the defendant tell you?
Well, she wanted to think about it. She wasn't ready to sign it at that point.
What happened next?
I advised her that because this is the type of asset nobody was going to be living in the residence, that it was just subject to depreciation. There was an agreement that he would go into court and get a court order to sell. I forgot the address, the name of the property.
5555.
Could have put her on speakerphone. They microphones back then. Unless maybe she didn't even want to hear Dan's voice. I mean, it's stupid. It's childish. Like, seriously, woman. It's ridiculous. It's princess syndrome. It's, what is it called? What? There's a name for it. Main character syndrome. That's what it is. Main character syndrome. Hey, Terry. Is Jennifer here? Probably gone now. I didn't even see her.
I advised Betty that would be the probable division.
Did you tell the defendant why Mr. Asher would be entitled to go into the court and get this sale order to sell Coral Reef?
Yes.
What'd you tell him?
That Mr. Broderick had bought another residence and was about, or had vacated or was about to vacate the Coral Reef residence. That she had a new residence, and this was the former family residence. It was just going to be standing empty. And this is the type of thing that there's no reason to pay mortgage payments and upkeep and maintenance on these kind of assets, and empty houses are problems. That a court would like this as a depreciating type.
You know, they had two houses. They should have put one in his name, one in her name. He goes to one, she goes to the other. That should have been the end of it. Man, she was just unreasonable from day one. I don't understand why people want to be with people that don't want to be with them anymore. I just don't get it. Move on.
Asset in order the property sold as long as no one was living in it.
So you told the defendant essentially that Dan and his lawyer would be entitled to sell the house.
Yes, and that they were going to so move because that's what they advised me.
In the course of your professional practice, have you seen this done before many times?
Not often, but it's certainly done with an asset that there's no reason not to sell.
Can you tell us whether or not Attorney Ashworth and Daniel Broderick were cooperative and reasonable in the negotiations with you on this particular sale price?
Your Honor, objection irrelevant.
Overruled. You can answer that.
I thought very much so. They didn't want to fight over the issue. They reserved the fight of the $11,000 to a later date, but they were willing to give the monies out at this time.
So the defendant would have gotten that money as soon as the house. I told you that you wanted to wait a while. What happened then?
At the airport, I went back to Los Angeles.
And your advice was to accept the offer?
Sunday.
As reasonable?
Yes.
Did the defendant ever get back to you after she drove you to the airport about either accepting or outrightly rejecting the offer that was extended?
No.
Calling your attention now to February 4th, 1989. Did Attorney Tom Ashworth call you at approximately 10 a.m. on that day about the anticipated court order sale of the Coral Reef residence?
He filed.
And
I don't recall.
There is a declaration, though, that you reviewed that says that he did do that.
Yes.
Would you have any reason to dispute the accuracy of that declaration?
Your Honor, objection calls for complete speculation.
Sustained.
Do you have any recollection that you did not receive a phone call?
No.
Assuming that you were told that the house was going to be sold pursuant to a court order, would you have come down?
No.
Why not?
The objection calls for complete speculation.
Over.
Because there was just really no reason to waste anybody's time or money. I thought it was an appropriate order. I thought we had a reasonable deal, and there was no reason to turn it around and then come down and oppose the deal that I had made a few days before.
And that is, you advise the defendant that Daniel Broderick that so you're recalling the time that ever advising her in the area of what did you advise the defendant?
Well, at that point,
Objection irrelevant.
Your Honor, I believe that there
Sustained at this point. Go ahead. You believe what?
Well, maybe we need a brief sidebar at this point, Your Honor.
Was this an anticipation?
Yes.
Anticipation of something she might say?
Or has said in the past it would be admissible as initial party opponent.
Do you want it in subject to a motion to strike later, Mr.
Well, I would just object to it at this time.
At this time, sustained.
Well, may I ask it subject to a motion to strike if the other evidence is not forthcoming? To avoid calling the witness back down.
Witness going to have to come down anyways.
I don't know that. This is a rather peripheral area anyway, Mr. Burkhoff, so no, I won't allow you to do that.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions.
Cross.
Mr. Jaffe, you went in and you've talked about that while some asset divided in half right upon the sale. Isn't that correct?
yes.
Okay. And sometimes that's, and you don't always do that as an attorney, do you? Just say, you want to sell an asset, we'll take half and you'll take half?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Depends on the case, is that correct?
Of course.
And obviously, if you have a case where somebody might have assets hidden all over the case, all over the land, that would make it so you'd be a little leery about selling one asset that had both names on it, wouldn't it?
Objection assumes facts not in evidence.
No, sustained. Just rephrase it.
Okay. Well, sir, in this case, were you aware that this was the only asset, family asset, that was in the name of both parties?
At my involvement in the case, as long as I was involved in the case, I did not have a complete picture of what the community estate was, nor did I ever develop a complete understanding because of
Did you ever?
because of the way the case.
Well, did you ever talk to Mrs. Broderick about fear since it was being transferred to Broderick before?
Overruled answer, stand.
And we were aware that through community assets that Mr. Broderick had brought Linda Kolkena while they were living together a condominium.
Objection, I'll prove that it's beyond the scope of this.
Sustained.
Well, at the time that you were going there saying that this was a reasonable thing to do, did you know at that point in time that there was a 40-acre tower that Mrs. Broderick's name was not on?
Excuse me, that's due to the negotiation of the sale of this particular piece of property.
Sustained.
You want to remember? May I?
No, just that he didn't know about that. He told you that already.
Well, he testified as an expert as you let him ask questions over what's reasonable and not.
It's reasonable to sale of a piece of property. Ask questions about sale of a piece of property.
To know what is reasonable about a sale of a piece of property it would help you as an attorney to know whether there were other assets that may be hidden. Isn't that correct?
I don't know what the relevance of that would be.
Well, obviously, when there's assets and very few names on it, would you normally have a concern about selling the one asset with the name, with your client's name on it, without addressing the others?
Objection irrelevant.
Overruled. You can answer that.
The issue would be what would happen with Dan Broderick's half of the equity less the 18.5.
The money talk to you about renting that house? Or do you recall that conversation?
I don't recall the issue of the money coming out. She needed the money to fix up the house that she was in, and that's primarily where we were going, and what the money we were looking for to help her with her new house.
Do you remember talking at all about whether the house could be rented or rather than?
I don't recall that at all.
Did you ask whether the rents would cover the mortgage?
I don't recall.
The time that you indicated that the house could be sold in a court order, what did you tell her about a court order? Did you tell her that just they could go into court and get the house sold?
On an appropriate showing that this was a depreciating or a wasting asset, that they could go in court and get such an order.
Okay. You didn't go into the details of how that court order, what would happen in court, other than the fact on a proper showing, did you?
No.
You didn't use the term Eliza, did you?
No.
You didn't tell her there would be a 4-hour notice, did you?
No.
You didn't tell her that you wouldn't come down for that 4-hour notice, did you?
No.
You didn't tell her that if they could leave, you weren't retained, were you? On the case at that time? I mean, you hadn't received any money.
I hadn't received any money.
And you let Mr. Ashworth know that you hadn't received any money. You were doing this as a favor, didn't you? I mean, basically, you weren't the attorney of record.
I never became the attorney of record in this case.
And he knew that.
Correct.
And so he, from your conversations that this, when he made, or at least at the time of the 4-hour sale, there was no indication at all that you were representing Mrs. Broderick, was there?
Well, other than the fact that I came down and negotiated the deal for a few days earlier.
Well, during that negotiation, you talked to him about the fact that you had requested a retainer, had you?
I don't know if it occurred during that meeting, but it certainly had mentioned earlier.
And you were never forwarded a retainer, were you?
No.
And you talked to Mrs. Broderick that that is at least a common thing that happens, decide whether the money retains the other attorney, and then it's decided later on in the divorce, didn't
Well, the
you?
retainer agreement that she signed called for a retainer, which was never paid.
Okay. But you talked to her about the fact that the normal course is for the husband to pay the retainer, and then it might, then the court decides some point later as to who's going to pay it.
I don't think there's a normal course, but where you have someone making significant income, or there was some significant amounts of community properties in the bank, cash, those are normally first used for the payment of fees, and if there's no money available, then you go to the high earner.
Okay. And you told her that you would be able to get that money from Mr. Broderick. It was your belief anyways.
I thought I would be able to.
Okay. And that was not forthcoming at the time of this, was it?
Not on a voluntary basis.
Okay. And at the time of the sale of this negotiation, there was talk about your fee coming out of the Coral Reef proceeds, wasn't there?
I don't recall, but it would have been an appropriate subject of conversation.
You don't remember calling Mrs. Broderick about the 4-hour notice, do you?
I don't recall one way or the other.
Okay. Well, you keep, basically a 4-hour sale of a community asset of this amount is a fairly substantial transaction for a party, is it not?
Depends on the circumstances.
Did you make any note of calling Mrs. Broderick? Did you called her, told her about it?
I did not find any notes among my notes.
Okay. And did you find any notes at all that, did you find among your notes any note that you had talked to Mr. Ashworth?
No.
And I take it you have no recollection of telling Mr. Ashworth, why are you, I'm not attorney of record, or calling?
That I wouldn't have.
Now, I'm assuming that, do you know, and a 4-hour notice means that if he calls your office at 1:30 in the afternoon and leaves a message, whether you get it or not, the hearing can take place that day, does it not?
Objection as soon as facts not in evidence. Is that what it means?
It can.
And I take it that being in Beverly Hills, even under the best circumstances, it's almost impossible for you to get from Beverly Hills in the afternoon, going through Los Angeles down to San Diego in 4 hours, is it not?
So if you were serious about the 4 hours, it would be very different.
You weren't before, were you, about that? No recollection of being...
I don't have any recollection.
No recollection of being called that morning to be given notice?
No, I have no independent recollection.
And you don't have any recollection of talking to Mrs. Broderick where she had any reaction at all, is that correct? To a 4-hour notice?
Not to the 4-hour notice. I recall her reaction when I first mentioned it, not in connection with 4-hour notice.
Now, there was time, she expressed some threw up,
She wouldn't sign the stipulation?
did she tell you at any time that at least that was the family home?
She did.
And that it was very difficult for her to sell the family home where the children were raised?
I'm sure she mentioned that early on.
You indicated that there was $18,500 that was agreed upon, but the issue was reserved. In other words, you didn't get half of the insurance money because Mr. Broderick said, well, I'll only give it to you now, but I'm going to fight for it later in court.
Yeah, the stipulation, as I recall reading it, said $7,500, which would be half of $15,000, would be, and we'd fight over the other 11,000, I guess it would later.
Have you had any knowledge on the home 2 or 3 years earlier than that as to potential sale price?
No.
Overall, the understands. Did you
make any attempt to find out whether it appeared to be a reasonable price?
Nothing stations, Mrs. Broderick.
Any agreements from 2 years earlier showing a sale price that was turned down by Mr. Broderick for any amount?
That's suspicion in terms of that it wasn't an arm's length transaction, or that was some buyer put up by Mr. Broderick or something like that?
Was there any of that?
No, I didn't hear that.
Okay. And anything about the price or what was going on with the home, why it was being sold then?
No, there was an offer that came in a month before in December. We had a significant amount of correspondence concerning that offer. That was a month or 6 weeks before the meeting.
I know.
Director? Did this offer we were talking about?
It was early December 1985.
And that offer as well?
That offer,
Why was that?
because Mr. Broderick wouldn't agree to the sale.
The defendant wouldn't agree to sell?
Yeah.
Your Honor, I have two documents here. One is People's Proposed Exhibit, letter, Kathy Clemens letterhead, signed January 9th, 19. Would that be labeled as Exhibit 48?
So Mark,
Another two-page document on Jeffrey Clemens titled "To Represent and Fee and Cost Agreement," dated on page 2, October 29th, 1985. Would that be labeled People's Exhibit 49?
so Mark.
I will show you People's Exhibit 40.
Come on, StreamYard.
Are you familiar with that document, sir? Now, there's some highlights I assume was not on the document when it was executed.
Yes, that's correct. Nor was the January 13, 1986 on the document.
Okay, and for the record, you're talking about a date stamp up in the upper right-hand corner, of the first page.
Yes.
What is that document?
It's a letter I wrote to Mr. Ashworth. Setting forth Mrs. Broderick's reasons for not wanting to sign the $47,000 of alleged community funds that went into the property. That he was going to be charged with the $47,000.
Who's going to be charged?
Mr. Broderick, that's what we were asking for.
No, I don't have an objection to reading the letter.
I'm going to go into evidence, Your Honor.
Best evidence speaks for himself. Unless you want to ask him a question.
Okay. Letter B, the aborted negotiations, the defendant refused to agree.
I think that meeting was January 31st, so this is 2 or 3 weeks earlier than that.
And this letter, does it not show Broderick's position that she's entitled one half of the sale of the residence plus an additional $23,500 out of Daniel Broderick's
Your Honor,
half?
I'm still going to object to it. It's irrelevant what his correspondence with Mr. Ashworth was.
It's not.
Overruled.
Well,
It's not
yes,
irrelevant.
that there was $47,000 of community funds not well spent on the residence.
Okay. And that would translate to the defendant's.
After that, she would be entitled to $23,500.
So in this letter, you are demanding on her behalf that she get half the proceeds plus $23,500.
Actually, I asked for the whole come out in equalizing payment later. And there was a whole provision here as to what would happen at trial, that this was without prejudice, etc.
Can you tell us, though, what that letter states so far as the defendant's demand prior to the negotiation for that sale?
Object, best evidence.
Your Honor, he wrote the letter, and I think he
testified the demand was for half the proceeds plus $47,000.
That's what it says.
Okay, and
That's
that's
an answer.
Is this letter the result of your conversation with the defendant? These were her personal demands?
Yes.
Did she ever say she wouldn't part with the Coral Reef residence because it was a family?
No, not reflected in this letter.
Was she?
No, she was living in what she uninhabitable piece of property.
That was the La Jolla Shores Calle de Cielo residence?
Yes.
And did she ever say that she was going to go back to the Coral Reef residence? She wished to go back and live there?
No, that was never in.
I handed you People's Exhibit 49. Are you familiar with that two-page document?
This was our standard retainer agreement that we used by the office in '85.
And who was retaining you in that particular document?
Mrs. Broderick.
Did she sign that document?
She did.
And when you negotiated the
the sale price of the Coral Reef residence, you were acting as her legal representative in that transaction?
This agreement, $1,000 payable in criminal of this agreement. It was never paid. So I was in a funny position, never got in the which had been agreed upon, but I was acting for Mrs. Broderick, and as the letter indicated, I was foot dragging, hoping that somebody from San Diego would get help in case, because it's very expensive to travel from Los Angeles down to San Diego.
And now hang on. There I am. Hi guys. So we're going to stop there for today, and we are going to go to the Donna Adelson trial, and I've got it set up to redirect you, so please join us over there. Thank you for coming out, guys. We will continue Jaffe's. I still missed his first name. We will continue with his testimony in the morning at 8, and we will now go to Florida for Donna Adelson's trial. And yeah, that's it. So if you're not going to join us, I will see you again in the morning. If you are, you will portal over